Hello, friends, and welcome to Light on Granite with Diana. We are continuing our Gentle Yoga for Fun series, focusing on opening up our neck and balancing poses today. For props, you are going to need a block and a pillow. So once you're situated, please come join me on the mat in Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to stand with our feet hips distance apart, pointing forward, arms along our sides, elongate that spine, drop your shoulders away from your ears, close your eyes, and take a moment to find your breath. Take a nice deep inhale and let it go. Now interlock your hands in front of your chest and raise those arms up above your head. Stretch open your shoulders and your neck. And breathe. We're just going to do a slight tilt to the right. Back to center, slight tilt to the left. And back to center, release those arms down. Now we're going to put our right hand on the side of our head, pull our head towards our right shoulder, and we're going to put our left arm behind our back. And breathe. Beautiful, and release. And then we're going to switch sides. So taking your left hand, pull your head towards your left shoulder, put your right arm behind your back, and breathe. And back to center and release. So next we're going to inhale our right arm up overhead and behind our back. Look over at your right arm and then bring your gaze back to the front. Keep your right arm extended and inhale that left arm up. Let's hold this stretch here. And release. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to inhale that left arm up and behind our back. Exhale as you turn your head to look over your left fingertips. And then bring your head back to the front. Keep your left arm extended behind you. And raise up your right arm in the air. And breathe. And gently release. Let's go ahead and move into some gentle neck rolls here. Moving one way and the other. And then we're going to transition into shoulder rolls, make them nice and dramatic, really loosen things up. And switch direction. And release. And now, friends, please step mats distance apart. Let's have a little light bend in our knee. And first, we're going to come into a lateral side stretch. So we're going to inhale that right arm up and bring it over towards the left. Exhale. And then come back to center. And we're going to do the other side. Inhaling that left arm up and overhead towards the right. Exhale. and then come back to center. And now let's interlock our hands behind our back. Try to extend those arms behind your back if you can. Keeping that slight bend in your knees, we're going to forward fold, hinging from the hips. And then slowly roll back up. We're going to do that 2 more times. So nice inhale, exhale, forward fold. And slowly come back up. And then one last time, we're going to forward fold. And this time while we're down, go ahead, release your hands. Let them dangle in front of you. Start to straighten your legs a little bit. So we're hanging like a rag doll. And then we're going to gently twist to the right, twist to the left, twist to the right, twist to the left, come back to center, and slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Now from here, let's inhale our arms up and out, nice and wide, creating a big Y with our arms, looking up towards the ceiling. Excellent. And then we're going to release our arms, and we're going to move into 3 prayer sweeps here. So we're going to bring our arms up overhead, put our hands together, hinge our elbows, hinge our knees, and do a slow, dramatic forward fold, and slowly roll back up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhaling, arms up, gaze up, hands together, hinge from the elbows, hinge from the knees, forward fold, and back up. One last time. Inhaling those arms up, hands together, hinging forward, and slowly rolling back up. Wonderful. Let's put our hands on our hips. We're going to move into some Ashtanga poses. So we're going to come into Warrior 1, leading with our right foot. Take a step back with your left foot. Whatever distance is comfortable for you. Have your left foot at a 45-degree angle. Make sure your feet are on separate train tracks. Bend that right knee. Stack it over your ankle. Inhale, arms up, gaze up. Now we're going to transition into Warrior 2. Open up those arms nice and wide. Gaze over your right fingertips. And then I want you to flip over that right palm, and we're going to bring that right arm up straight towards the ceiling. Let our left arm drape on our back leg, coming into Peaceful Warrior. And now bend that front arm, rest it on that right thigh. Stretch the left arm up towards the ceiling, and if it's within your practice today, go ahead and bring it over your ear and towards the opposite wall. And then we're going to straighten that front leg, bring our torso back up. Let's extend our arms. We're going to pull our left hip back and hinge forward, coming into triangle. Let your front arm rest anywhere on your leg that's comfortable to you. Just make sure you don't put pressure on your knee. And breathe. And then you can put a slight bend to that front knee and bring your torso back up. And then from here, straighten that front leg again. We're going to make sure our hips are facing forward, have our hands on our hips, and we're going to come into Parvatasana. So just do a gentle forward fold here, hinging from the hips. Only come down as far as you need to feel the stretch in your legs. and breathe. And then we're going to come back up, bend that front knee, coming into Warrior Two. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to grab our block. We're going to put it on the inside of our front foot. Let our hands come down to the block. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to extend our legs out using the block to help stabilize us. So we're doing some half moon prep here. We're not going to do half moon today, but this is a great beginning to our balancing poses today. And just straighten your legs as much as is feasible for you today. Wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And then gently release, step back into your warrior. And you can go ahead and come up, shake those legs out, and come to the top of our mat as we're going to do that series again, leading with the left foot. So this time, step that right foot back, 45-degree angle. Stack your left knee over your left ankle. Inhale, arms up, gaze up. Warrior One. And then open up. Warrior Two, gaze over your left fingertips. Now let's flip that left palm up and raise that arm up, coming into Peaceful Warrior. And then bend that front arm, rest it on your thigh, extend your right arm towards the ceiling, and then if it's within your practice, go ahead and bend it over towards the opposite wall. And breathe. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our torso up, straighten that front leg, extend our arms, and we're going to come into triangle. So pull your back hip back, tilt, and remember, let your hand rest on your leg wherever it's comfortable. If possible, try to follow your gaze with your top arm that's extended towards the ceiling. And breathe. Then put a slight bend in that knee. Bring your torso up. We're going to straighten that front leg again. Align our hips with the front of the mat. Hands on hips. And then we're going to hinge forward into our Parvatasana, and breathe. And gently come up. We're going to come into our Warrior Two, and then we're going to grab that block and make sure it's on the inside of our left foot. Put our hands on our block here. And then as we're ready, go ahead and extend your legs out. There might be a difference between how far you can extend your right and your left legs. Don't worry about it. Just do what's possible for you. And breathe. Excellent. Slowly step back into warrior here, and then bring your torso up and go ahead and shake it out. We can just have our block on the side, and then we're going to come to the top of our mat again, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. And then from here, if it's possible, I want you to go ahead and bend one knee in and give it a squeeze. And release. Bend the other knee and give it a squeeze. And release. And now, friends, we're going to come into tree pose. So first we're going to start by getting grounded at our right foot. So feel free to rock your foot around until you can push on all four corners of your right foot into the mat. And then we're going to start to raise our left leg. Now, depending on how your balance is, you can keep your foot nice and low, or you can experiment and try to slide it up your leg. Ultimately, the full expression of the pose is to have your foot up near your hips. Wherever your foot is exactly where it needs to be. Just make sure it is not pushing against your knee. And once you're here, see if you can put your hands together in prayer in front of you and maintain your balance. You can always keep your gaze low until you're more comfortable, and then you can start to raise your gaze. And if this is fine for you, you can stay here. If you want to push it a little bit more, try to extend your arms up towards the ceiling. And breathe. And then gently release and go ahead and shake it out. Great job. We're going to go ahead and do the other side. So first we're going to get ourselves stable with our left foot. So go ahead, take a moment, make sure your left foot is pressing firmly against the mat, and then slowly you're going to slide your right leg up wherever it feels comfortable, and try to find your balance. Engage your core, and then see if you can put your hands together in front of your heart. And if that feels okay, see if you can raise those arms up. And breathe. And then gently release and go ahead and shake it out. Wonderful, friends. So then we're going to come back into our mountain pose. And from here we're going to come up on our tiptoes. And gently come down. One more time, let's come up on our tiptoes. And gently come down. And then we're going to inhale, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down. And we're going to slowly roll up to standing. Once you're in standing, bring your arms back overhead, hands together, and then push your hands together as you bring them in front of your heart. Excellent. We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to transition onto the floor. So go ahead, inhale, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down. Let's put a nice dramatic bend in our knees. Touch our hands down to the mat, and then slowly come into table pose. So we are on all fours now, and we're going to move into our cat-cow series, moving with our breath. So inhale, head up, belly down. Exhale, head down, round that spine. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. One more round. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. And then come back to neutral spine. Wonderful. So from here, we're going to do part of our sun salutation flow on the mat. So we're going to start from table, and we're going to bend at the elbows, sweep our chest down and up, releasing our back legs, coming into upward facing dog. And then we're going to pull our hips back towards our ankles, plug our toes in, and then come up into downward dog. Take a breath here. And then we're going to lower our knees back down to the mat. You can release your feet. And we're going to do it again. We're going to hinge from our elbows, sweep our chest down and up, releasing those back legs, coming into an upward facing dog. And then pull those hips back, plug those toes, and then raise your hips up towards the sky, coming into downward dog. And then slowly release your knees back down to the mat. Release your toes. We're going to do it one more time. Hinging at the elbows, sweep your chest down and up, releasing those back legs, upward facing dog. And then pull those hips back, plant those toes, and then come into downward dog. And gently release down. And go ahead and come into child's pose. Great job. And then we're going to come back into table pose. And I want you to just step your right foot back, stretch out that calf, and bring the right leg back in. And we're going to extend our left leg, stretching out our left calf muscle. And then we're going to bring our left knee back in. Now, if you have any knee sensitivity, feel free to fold your mat in half here or put a pillow under your knees, because we're going to come up onto our knees for a moment. I want you to put your hands on your lower back. We're going to take a nice inhale, expand our chest, and then very slowly come into a back bend. Gaze up towards the ceiling, shoulders back and away from your ears. Open up that neck. And then gently release and slowly come back down into child's pose, rounding on our spine in the other direction. And wonderful. We're going to come onto a seated position on the mat. Have your knees bent and your feet plugged onto the mat. We're going to have our hands slightly behind our hips, fingertips pointing forward. And what we're going to do from here, friends, is we're going to do 3 rounds of reverse table. So what I want you to do first is just to start gently lifting your bottom up off the mat. Stop when it feels uncomfortable. But if it's within your practice today, go ahead and pull those hips all the way up. Let your head fall back. Your arms are fully extended. Your knees are bent. Reverse table. Gently lower yourself back down till you're on the mat. We're going to do that 2 more times. Slowly come up as far as it feels comfortable to you. And slowly release back down to the mat. 1 more time. Slowly roll up here as far as you can go. And gently release back down to the mat. And then from here, keep your feet and your knees where they are, but let your torso come down to the mat. And we're going to move into bridge pose. We're going to do 3 rounds of bridge pose. So when you're ready, walk those feet in a little bit closer to your sits bones, and then pull those hips up towards the sky, creating space underneath your back. And gently roll back down. And then come back up. And gently roll back down. Make sure you move with your breath for this next one. Let's inhale, come up. Exhale, roll back down. Wonderful. So extend your arms out into a T. Make sure your feet have walked close together. Your bent knees are together, and we're going to let our bent knees fall to the right while our gaze comes over our left hand, coming into a supine twist. And then inhale, your head back to center, knees up. And then we're going to let our legs fall the opposite direction. Gaze over your right fingertips. And breathe. And then gently come back to center here. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly push up onto the mat, onto all fours, and then you can go ahead and grab your block. And we're just going to do a little cat-cow here to loosen up our spine again. So just move as it feels comfortable to you. Excellent. And release. And now we're going to come into our restorative poses. So we're going to come into a child's pose, but it's going to be a wide-legged child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat, have your feet touching. We're going to put the block in front of us. We're going to be resting our forehead on the block and then wrapping our arms around the block. And then just release into the pose. Even out your breath. Notice the sensations that you're feeling in your body. Try to bring your breath to any areas of tightness that you have. And then take a nice deep breath in and let it go. Keeping your head on the block, I want you to gently roll it to the left, roll it to the right, and keep gently rolling your forehead on the block, giving yourself a gentle massage here. And then we're going to pause. We're going to go ahead and plant our hands on either side of our block, come onto our knees so we're in a table position, but keep our head connected to the block. You can adjust your head. So we're going to rock side to side again, but make sure that you're massaging a different part of the crown of your head now. And just gently roll left to right. Make sure that it feels good to you. And gently release. Excellent. And so from here, we're going to go ahead and put our hands on our block again and do our block cat-cow. Let's do 3 rounds, moving with our breath. Inhaling, head up. Exhaling, head down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And come back to neutral spine. Wonderful. So our next pose, we actually need to come onto our sits bones, and we're going to grab our pillow. We're going to put our pillow directly behind our back, and we're going to situate our block so our head is resting on our block. And our feet are going to be glued onto the mat, our knees bent. We're going to walk our feet as wide as the mat, and then let our knees collapse in on each other. Your arms are along your sides, palms face down. And then try to relax. Let your belly be soft. Release any tension that you're feeling in your neck. Release any tension that you're holding in your shoulders. Let your chest be soft. Let your hips sink into the mat and feel supported by the mat. Make sure that you have nice, even breaths in and out. Notice any sensations that you're feeling in your body. Let's take a nice deep inhale and let it go. And then gently come onto your side and slowly push yourself up into a seated position. And so from here, friends, we're going to be transitioning, moving into our pranayama and meditation. So I want you to find a comfortable seated position, whether that's in a chair, sitting on your pillow, sitting on your block, whatever works for you. And to start today, we're actually going to do a facial massage before we move into our pranayama, our breathing exercise. So to begin, I want you to take your 2 pointer fingers with either hand and put it just underneath your ears. There's a little space in there, a little pressure point, and I want you to gently massage it in a circular motion. And release. And then we're going to take our hand from that point underneath our ears, and we're going to pull our hand gently across our neck and onto our chest. Both sides here. And release. And then I want you to use your 2 pointer fingers. We're going to come up to our eyebrows. And first we're going to gently massage the center of our eyebrows here. And then take your fingers from the center of your forehead and sweep them over your eyebrows towards your temples, applying light pressure. Let's do that 3 times. And then we're going to take our pointer fingers to our temples and gently massage our temples. And release. And then taking your pointer fingers, come into your eyes, near the bridge of your nose, And I want you to gently apply light pressure as you sweep your fingers down across your cheekbones. And let's do that 3 times. Beautiful. Lastly, we're going to take our palms. We're going to start above our temples and apply light pressure as we gently slide our hands down our jaw towards our chin. We're going to do that 3 times. And gently release. All right. So now, friends, we're going to do a fun type of pranayama. It's a little different. It's called the B sound. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice long inhale. And on our exhale, we're going to make a buzzing sound like a bee. And you're going to extend your bee hum until you run out of breath. And then you're just going to take in a nice inhale again and continue. So do this at your own pace. You can follow along with me if that works for you, or you can do your own rhythm. And when you're ready, take a nice inhale. And on your exhale through your nose, we're going to hum that B sound. And gently release. All right, wonderful friends. So our meditation practice today, or our awareness practice, is going to be a focus meditation. So you have a couple of options. You can pick an object in the room that you're in, or you can use your hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to be staring at this object continuously during our meditation. So our eyes are going to be open. You are going to try to hold your gaze as long as possible before blinking. And what you're going to do is you're really going to study that object with your eyes, following its contours, its patterns, its intricacies, and try to keep your focus on that object. And when your focus drifts and you catch it, come right back into the moment and start focusing again on that object. So for me, I'm going to use my hands. So I'm going to stack my palms face up, and I am just going to gaze at my hands during this meditation. And you can use your hands or any object in the room. And then when you're ready, just try to Elongate your spine, let your shoulders fall away from your ears, and have a relaxed gaze on your object. And let's take a nice deep inhale and let it go. And let's just sit here quietly with our eyes closed for a few moments. And then we're going to go ahead and inhale our arms up, gaze up, hands together in front of our hearts. And bow your head to your heart. And thank yourself for your practice today. For doing balancing poses, opening and stretching your neck, and taking time to just reconnect to your body and to this moment. Thank you, friends, for taking this time with me today. It has been an honor. I look forward to seeing you again. Sending you love and light. Namaste.